Hey guys, welcome to the lecture series on ethical hacking. In this video, we'll be mainly discussing about the help desk procedures and how we are going to provide the awareness for the users related to these type of attacks, mainly because of social engineering. So here, first of all, going with the help desk procedures and more the password changing policies, how they are going to implement. First of all, going with the user identity verification. Suppose if I'm a person, first you are coming into the college, for example. If you are the person, you are entering into the college. So the help desk are also the first security persons, what they will be doing. They will be constantly insisting you to wear the ID cards. From the ID cards itself, you can easily understand, okay, you are the authorized person to enter into the college, you are studying here, you are some so and so. And you may be facing some sort of situation during the leaving the college in the middle of the working hours. So you may be having some sort of situations to leave the campus before the 4 o'clock or else before the 3 o'clock. So the security person, they will be simply insisting you not to leave. You should have some sort of authorization, should have some sort of permissions, and different type of things. So same thing in here also. The first of all, identity verification has to be carried out. So the person who is interested to change the passwords or else to do any sort of things. Okay, first of all, check whether the person is a valid or not. And generally, once we want to change the required passwords, they will be asking some sort of security questions also, especially in some sort of banking applications or any sort of things. They will be having some sort of secret questions. Once the secret questions has been properly answered, then only you will be having the privilege to change the passwords. So that implies in the backend they are verifying your identity, whether you are the person, you are the authorized person who has been created the account, who has been operating the account or not. Next, checking about the secure password reset procedures or else a process. The password change should follow a controlled and more of the documented procedures. This has to be strictly maintained. So that in the near future, if any person is claiming I haven't changed the password or who you are using a different password without my intervention, your passwords has been changed. This particular situation should not be raised from any sort of clients. So we have to properly go with the control and moreover documented procedures. By avoiding sharing these particular passwords via the mails or also phones. A normal layman like me will be having a least confidentiality, least authored about these things, saying that okay, what chalne do, what will be happen? Try to share my username and or passwords. Try to share my PIN numbers. Try to share the credit cards, also OTPs and other things. Even though the applications are providing the high end-to-end security or else end-to-end encryption mechanisms, but to our level also we should be very much cautious. Always go with using of strong password requirements. So the length should be strictly maintained. Generally, if I am giving the password of 3 characters, 4 characters, and sort of 8 characters, they will not be accepting. In some sort of application, they will be insisting us to have the password length of more than 8 to 12 characters. The complexity also has to be implemented, like the uppercase, lowercase combination, including of some sort of special characters, including some sort of numerics. Always try to avoid the common passwords. Always try to avoid the sequential numbers. Always try to avoid the initials or else the persons who are very much familiar with or the friend's name, any sort of names or else pet names or any sort of things. Always update your password regularly. In most of the banking applications, in most of the corporate applications, you will be insisting periodically to update the required passwords. Changing the password is very much important, but try to avoid regularly changing this password unless you got some sort of suspicious things, until you got some sort of caution, then only change these particular passwords. And once you have changed the passwords, not to keep the passwords which previously that has been used. Once you are giving the time of changing the passwords, once you are giving the old password, you will be getting some sort of alert. This particular password has been previously given in the last 3 terms. So generally, these particular company in the backend, they will be maintaining the last at least 3 last passwords will be maintained as their repository database. If the same password has been repeatedly used, repeatedly given by the user, they will be insisting us to change the required passwords. And next, going with the logging and moreover monitoring the required request. All help desk interaction, moreover password reset activities should be clearly monitored, should be clearly managed, should be clearly logged also. Then only if any uneven situation has been occurred, we should be in a capable position to trace from the log history who, when it has been changed, by whom it has been changed, from which particular IP address it has been changed, at what instant of time it has been changed, and what is the security measures that has been taken at that particular change in the passwords. Everything has to be clearly maintained in our log files so that we can easily analyze if any suspicious behavior has been identified to avoid the or else to prevent the social engineering attacks. Not only these things, one thing has to be clearly in our mind, that is nothing but the proper user awareness. Proper employees education should be there. If we know these are the situations that may occur in the near future, these may be situations, they may be cause a huge amount of damage. These things should be known to us first of all. Then only we can take the required necessary actions. You may be saying some sort of sayings also. Until we have been suffered, we will not be making the necessary actions. Until we met with any sort of accidents, then only we will be driving our vehicle in a slow and clear, proper driving sense and driving manners. So these are the different type of situations. Until we feel, until we affect with those particular situation, a normal human like me will not be changing the required things. But we should be in a tense situation to have a proper awareness and proper education. So next one is mainly concentrating about the user awareness. User should know what type of threat will be happening in our network. What type of loss of data may be occurred because of these phishing mails. Maybe the data breaches, any sort of thing. We have to first of all understand the security threats. We should know what are the different type of cyber threats that will be occurred because of the phishing mails, because of spam mails, because of the social engineering, and if any malware, if I'm downloading any sort of applications or else any sort of movies or any sort of softwares from the untrusted platforms, untrusted websites. Okay, what type of scenarios will be there? And how this password attack may be occurred if I'm using some sort of weak passwords. If I have enough knowledge on you, I can easily trace what maybe the password is of. Why? Because a normal user like me will be keeping the required passwords, which will be of very much convenient for me, which will be of easily to remember for me also. So always awareness should be there, and we have to in a capable position to recognize what may be the suspicious activity. If any spam mail has been came into our desk, has been came into our mail, immediately report to that thing and try to avoid, try to be away from that particular phishing mails and spam mails, and also even the fake news also. Always never use the unusual links. Never click on that particular attachments. If that particular attachments are also links is unusual or unknown to me, never ever attempt to operate on that things. Always go with the safe online practices. Once we are going to use in the public environments, first of all, the basic thing is nothing but never ever use the internet in the public from the public networks, especially in the airports, in the I would have to say bus stands or also railway stations. They may be providing some sort of 1 GB of free, but the attackers may be having the maximum chance to attack on your mobiles, on your databases. Always go with the safe practices, like once you are don't share any sort of username and passwords via emails or else WhatsApp, any sort of things. Always go and tend to use the operations and the incognito windows. At least somehow it will be providing the required security. Why? Because once we are operating in the incognito window on any sort of browser, it will not be maintaining any sort of credentials. It will not be maintaining the log history. Strict anonymity will be maintained. And regularly we should be trained on different type of attacks, and security training mechanism has to be simply implemented. So organizations, that's why only, even though you are a corporate employee, you will be with the day-to-day operations what we are doing, you will be gone and insisted by your managers, try to do these tasks, try to pass these examinations, try to attend these videos and clear the some sort of questionnaire. So this is to bring the awareness not only on the social media, not only on the cybersecurity, on the our emotional and psychological behavior also. If any uneven situation has been occurred, it's our responsibility to immediately report to our higher officials. If any attack has been occurred on my database, immediately respond, immediately report the same thing to our IT officials, so that they can take the necessary actions, so that we can avoid the maximum damage. And we have to always go with the promoting of security first culture, even to our parents, even to our kids also. We have to properly educate. Security is very, very, very important for us. This security culture has to be used by everyone. It's our responsibility. So, apart with these things, let me go with some sort of scenarios where some of the corporate companies have suffered because of these least bothered or else lack of user awareness, especially on these particular passwords. Let me go with a small example. Some years back, SBI, State Bank of India, has got some sort of issues with these password issues. What happened is nothing but most of the SBI user account holders, what they will be doing, they will be using the online banking, mobile banking, and these things. And I mean, the persons or else the clients who are using SBI, they are least bothered about the passwords and more PIN numbers and everything. And they will be keeping the passwords and more PIN numbers which will be easily traceable. So from that, SBI is go on educating the clients to periodically change the passwords, to have the required password minimum of 12 characters length, to have a strong password, never use a common passwords, include a different type of characters in that things. Not only these SBI, I had gone through one particular case study regarding to the Indian Council for Medical Research, especially the employees who are working during the pandemic situation. Okay, they will be maintaining a huge amount of database regarding to the patient's information. Okay, the employees who are working on, who are maintaining the database, they are very much least bothered. Okay, Chalna, what will be there? Who will be accessing our own medical records and all these things? So I had gone through one particular case study where the admin who is maintaining such an amount of large amount of database regarding to the patient's history, they are keeping very, very, very weak passwords, which can be easily traceable. Suppose let me go with any sort of, I should not reveal any sort of hospital database or any sort of thing. So you'll be keeping some sort of easy remembered passwords so that anyone can access at any instant of time. Why? Because he will not be the single user who will be accessing the database. So that to have a more convenient, they will be keeping the some sort of organization name at 123. So that these particular passwords can be easily remembered. But these particular weak passwords may be used, may be attacked by the attackers. So we should be very much cautious about these things. Let me go with the other example. Like in the case of National Informatics Center, it's a government agency. Okay, most of the government officials, government employees, database will be maintained here. These employees, they will be maintaining the huge amount of information regarding their own information, regarding the gratuity, regarding to their own pension information, different type of things. So for the pension awareness, for the pension access, they have to log into one particular website. To have the gratuity, they will be accessing to other website. To have to apply for the what I have to say, leaves and other things, they have to use other websites. So once they are employing with these multiple websites, these employees, what they are doing, they are keeping a common passwords to all the websites. A normal layman like me also, even see I'm going to use multiple social media, not to remember multiple passwords. What I will be giving, what I will be doing, I will be using the same passwords only in all the websites. But if one particular website, one particular password has been compromised, I'm giving the chance for the attacker to access all the database. The same thing has been happened in the case of IBM also some years back. I mean, the IBM employees, they will be accessing different type of information from different type of websites, similar to that of the NIC. So at everywhere, the Infosys employees, they are using the same passwords in multiple accounts. So because of these things, we are giving the scope for the attacker to attack our own data. It may reveal our own sensitive information, not only ours, it may damage the reputation of ours and even the employer also. So user awareness, user education is very, very, very important. That's all for the total ethical hacking. Thank you.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.